And you'll hear people say, well, we can't predict the future. And if you ask me, will the price of Google be higher or lower than it is today 3 years from now, that's very hard to say. Will WiMAX, CDMA, G3 be the wireless standard 3 years from now? That's hard to say. But if you ask me what will it cost for 1 MIPS of computing in 2010, or the cost to sequence a base pair of DNA in 2012, or the cost of sending a megabyte of data wirelessly in 2014, it turns out that those are very predictable. There are remarkably smooth exponential curves that govern price, performance, capacity, bandwidth. Personal experience when I was at MIT, computer taking up about the size of this room, less powerful than the computer in your cell phone. But Moore's law, which is very often identified with this exponential growth, is just one example of many, because it's basically a property of the evolutionary process of technology. A key revolution is that we're understanding our own biology in these information terms. We're understanding the software programs that make our body run. Actually, there are scientists building molecule-scale robots. One has one that actually walks with a surprisingly human-like gait that's built out of molecules. There are little machines doing things in experimental basis. The most exciting opportunity is actually to go inside the human body and perform therapeutic and diagnostic functions. And this is less futuristic than it may sound. These things have already been done in animals. There's one nano-engineered device that cures type 1 diabetes. It's blood cell size. They put tens of thousands of these in the blood cell. They tried this in rats. Lets insulin out in a controlled fashion and actually cures type 1 diabetes. Now, if we come back to our exponential growth of computing, $1,000 of computing is now somewhere between an insect and a mouse brain. It will intersect human intelligence in terms of capacity in the 2020s. This is at an early stage, but you can show with the exponential growth of the amount of information about the brain and the exponential improvement in the resolution of brain scanning, we will succeed in reverse engineering the human brain by the 2020s. We already have very good models and simulation of about 15 regions out of the several hundred. So by 2010, computers will disappear. They'll be so small they'll be embedded in our clothing, in our environment. Images will be written directly to our retina, providing full immersion virtual reality, augmented real reality. We'll be interacting with virtual personalities. But if we go to 2029, we really have the full maturity of these trends, and you have to appreciate how many turns of the screw in terms of generations of technology, which are getting faster and faster, we'll have at that point. And we will have 2 to the 25th power greater price, performance, capacity, and bandwidth of these technologies, which is pretty phenomenal. It'll be millions of times more powerful than it is today. We'll have completed the reverse engineering of the human brain. $1,000 of computing will be far more powerful than the human brain in terms of basic raw capacity. Computers will combine the subtle pattern recognition powers of human intelligence with ways in which machines are already superior in terms of doing analytic thinking. We are going to merge with our technology. These nanobots I mentioned will first be used for medical and health applications, cleaning up the environment, providing powerful fuel cells and widely distributed decentralized solar panels and so on in the environment. But they'll also go inside our brain, interact with our biological neurons. We've demonstrated the key principles of being able to do this. So, for example, full immersion virtual reality from within the nervous system. The nanobots shut down the signals coming from your real senses, replace them with the signals that your brain would be receiving if you were in the virtual environment. And then it'll feel like you're in that virtual environment. But most importantly, it'll be a tremendous expansion of human intelligence through this direct merger with our technology. My main message is that progress in technology is exponential, not linear. Many, even scientists, assume a linear model. So they'll say, oh, it'll be hundreds of years before we have self-replicating nanotechnology assembly or artificial intelligence. If you really look at the power of exponential growth, you'll see that these things are pretty soon at hand.
よし、こうなったら世界中を鋼鉄の塊にしちまおうか。面白いな。さあ、俺たちの愛情で世界中を燃え上がらせてやるぜ。やりまくるぞー！